Hi you guys, welcome back. This is our last speech. I wanted to first of all thank you guys for your constructive criticism throughout the course. It helped me to be a lot less self-conscious and to be better organized in my notes, and it made me a better public speaker, so thank you. I really enjoyed hearing everyone's speeches. Taking my current audience into account, we're all adults, so I like to do my best to persuade you to take charge of your sexual health. Now before we get started, I've got my visual aid here with a few facts. The first one is that half of all sexually active people will contract HPV. The second one is 3 million women don't use birth control at all, whatsoever. Nearly 500,000 babies are born to teenagers every year. Over 11 million children are orphaned in Africa due to HIV. And the last one is that sex has several health benefits. The World Health Organization defines sexual health as a state of physical, emotional, mental, and social well-being related to sexuality. It is not merely the absence of disease, dysfunction, or infirmity. Sexual health requires a positive and respectful approach to the sexuality and sexual relationships, as well as the possibility of having pleasurable and safe experiences free of coercion, discrimination, or violence. While it is important to safeguard oneself against the possibility of infection, not all aspects of sexual health, it's not all just about that. You have to take into account the possibility for pregnancy. You have to maintain a positive attitude as well as to try and make it rewarding for everyone involved. The risks are obvious. Contracting an STD is the last thing that anybody wants. But for the sake of an example, the effects of mass unprotected sex, you really only need to look at sub-Saharan Africa. Currently 22 million people are living with HIV in sub-Saharan Africa. So far, the death toll is about 1.5 million deaths, leaving 11 million children orphaned. But HIV isn't all. There is an HPV epidemic, stands for human papillomavirus. This Center for Disease Control says that 50% of sexually active people will contract HPV in their lifetime. Most won't know about it because often no symptoms present and you get rid of it in 3 or 4 years. And these people unwittingly pass it on to their partners. Personally, the first sex ed class I took was in the 5th grade, so they've been drilling this into our heads for a while. And we've all been told, use a condom every time, and that the only 100% safe sex is no sex at all. But 1 in 5 people has an STD right now. And all that means that some of this has to have fallen on deaf ears. You could blame the reduced stigma on premarital sex, or you could blame the abstinence-only sex education classes across America. But the proof is in the pudding, because 2/3 of all STIs in this country are contracted by those under 25. While it is true that abstaining from sex until marriage is really the only way to safeguard yourself, and marrying someone who has done the same, people are getting married later and later in life, and that makes all that kind of unrealistic. Aside of just the risk of HIV, which can kill you, and the human papillomavirus, which can give you cancer, some STDs can leave you infertile, and you'll never be able to have kids. All of this should be a decent motivator for you to protect yourself by wearing condoms, using dental dam. They're only effective if you use them correctly and you use them every single time. They've also come out with shots that can guard you against different strains of HPV. One way to keep on top of your situation is to get tested. And this helps ensure your health and the health of your partner or partners. The American Social Health Association suggests that one question you ask yourself before you engage in sexual activity is, are you willing to risk a possible pregnancy? If not, what method of birth control will you use? The American Social Health Association says that 60 million women between the ages of 15 and 44, and those are the childbearing years, are in America right now. 3 million of which use no contraception whatsoever, accounting for 50% of all unplanned pregnancies. Almost 500,000 babies are born to unwed mothers every year. And even though it has become more socially acceptable to be a single parent in this day and age, it feels like the media is popularizing teen pregnancy by giving a lot of attention to people like Jamie Lynn Spears and Bristol Palin and the MTV show 16 and Pregnant. The National Campaign to Prevent Teen and Unwanted Pregnancy states that 82% of all births to women under the age of 20 were unplanned. 58% of the ages of babies born to women ages 20 to 24 were also unplanned. There's a myriad of different kinds of birth control. You could use the pills, the ring, the shot, the implants, condoms, or in case of an emergency, the morning after pill even. As I mentioned earlier, sexual health includes more than just the bad things that can happen to you and what you can do to prevent it. It also involves the attitude you have towards sex in general. I believe that if you are of age and consenting and nobody gets hurt, then it's pretty much all fair game. But you have to be aware of your motivations for having sex. The American Social Health Association asks you to consider why you're having sex at all. Is it for fun? Is it to establish a connection between you and someone? Or is it just for pleasure? There's nothing really wrong with any of those reasons, but knowing why you're having sex will help you to realize why you wouldn't have sex. It also helps you to know your partner's motives, lest you guys might not be on the same page. Ultimately, the goal here is the same, and that's to have a fulfilling sex life. Sex has been shown to have medical benefits, such as reducing stress, better sleeping habits, improved immune systems, you burn calories. It's even known to lower the risk of prostate cancer. All of this, plus the implied intimacy and the obvious fun, makes a great case for sex despite all of the previous stated risks. In today's society, it seems that everything is hypersexualized. Images on TV, movies, music videos even. It seems to have desensitized us and lessened the stigma attached to sex before marriage in our culture. And while it seems that everyone's doing it, nothing but the pursuit of sex really gets talked about too much anymore. But if everyone is doing it, then we should all be adult enough to be able to talk about it with our partners without getting embarrassed. And to take action against the things that could do us harm, that could affect us for the rest of our lives, or potentially throw a huge wrench into the plans that we've made for ourselves. So, to recap, if you have sex, use protection every single time. Get tested. Take care of yourself, and thank you for your time.